What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Football Boot Hour with, of course, me, Boot Wizard, here on the Boot Wizard channel, and my co-host, Andrew. We do not have a special guest this week, which means it's just the two of us. Just the two of us.
That's
And I think
immediately
that
what
is...
I thought of as
well. And you know what? That's completely fine. We love each other's company. We should be live on YouTube right now, so if you are over there, please do join us. If we're not live, I don't know why. So this week we are going to be talking about the best tournament packs ever. We will not be doing a ranking of every single tournament pack to ever have existed, because we'll be here for another 2.5 hours like we were last week. Although I must say, I really enjoyed last week's podcast.
That was a lot of fun.
That was so much fun. I think that was excellent to do. And that is definitely something we should do every single year. Really, really enjoyed that. And thank you, Noah, for joining us. But on to the regular stuff, the good stuff. How are you, and what have you been wearing this week?
I'm so very tired.
For anybody who doesn't know, it is 7 a.m. in Japan, where Andrew is. He has to wake up very early to do this. It's 11 p.m. in Ireland, where I am. So I am very tired. By the end of this, we just kind of swap roles.
Yeah, seriously.
Anyway, what have you been wearing?
Yeah, been wearing the Vapor.
Beautiful.
These are going to be bloody hard to clean.
Yeah, kind of impossible. I've only really worn mine on AG so far because I'm a madman.
You are a madman.
It's like, it's not obviously got like kind of like mud dirt, but that black graining is really hard to get out of those.
Yeah, Mizuno's got some like shoe shampoo, so I'm gonna try using that on them. Because of course I'm gonna sell these after I review them.
Naturally,
definitely these.
Without giving too much away, because obviously I know you have the review coming up and everything, but what are kind of like early thoughts?
Upper, brilliant. Maybe the best Vapor upper ever.
Yeah.
But there's a few other good things, but for the most part, I don't know. It's going to be an all over the place review because these boots are all over the place.
Fair.
Can't quite place them. There's this really weird thing going on, like in this spot right here. When I'm running, I feel a space, like a gap.
Okay.
And I feel like the boots aren't pushing the foot down into the sole plate enough. So you remember like the Vapor 11 where like you sunk into the sole plate?
Yeah, it was designed like this. I can't remember what they called it, where you literally sat right into the boot. They had that on like they had it on the 12 as well, I think.
Yeah. This is like the extreme opposite of that.
Probably not helped by the Air Zoom unit.
Yeah, I can constantly tell like I'm feeling on top of something.
Right, okay.
So, and there's just like stud pressure at weird times. So
yeah, so interestingly enough, not to cut you off, but what I've been wearing this week are two things that it's kind of I want to bring up is something very similar to what you're saying about the instep there, which are these. So I've been wearing these because the more I wear them, the more I love them. These are bloody fantastic. Like, I like the F50, but this, yours came in finally.
The upper on these is amazing.
Oh, and as they break in, they're just like, this is without question better than the regular release colorway. Like, when I do the review or when I do a comparison, I'll put it in at some point. There you go. The man has everything. I'm going to try and do like, okay, what objectively is better? Because I think maybe the regular release is maybe slightly better kind of objectively. But this is just, it's more comfortable. The touch on the ball is amazing. The way the upper bit beds in, it's everything I want from this. And I really, really like this. And the reason I brought this as well as this, other than the fact I've been wearing it, is because of that midfoot area that you spoke about.
Yeah.
The midfoot area on this is really great and kind of fits around my foot really, really nicely. The sizing on this actually for me is pretty much perfect. Whereas with the Superfly or the Vapor, like you can even kind of see it there, like that kind of bit of excess
Yeah,
material.
yeah.
I think there's like, I hadn't considered it from the point of view of the sole plate. That could be it, of what you're saying and how far you sat into it. But even before I start running, there is a gap here and there is material here that I don't potentially want. And I think I only really have two problems with the boot at this point. One is that, and the other is that I don't think the heel narrows enough here.
No, it
It's too
absolutely does
wide for
not.
too long. So like I actually don't, the back of it is actually fine. I fit in here, but I need this kind of at this point to just pinch. I need that to
Agreed.
come round.
Yeah. So I had somebody
They're
in my
kind of my
comment.
issues.
Yeah, same. I had somebody in my comments last night saying that, oh, that's just a consequence of it having a super padded heel. That's what happens.
Nope.
Yeah, that's not. It's not because of the heel. It's because of the design.
Yeah, it's the shape. It's not the
Yeah.
padding. It's, you can have that amount of padding and bring the shape of the heel counter round, and then have the padding to hold you in place and it be comfortable. But the heel counter can come more round.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
like, don't get me wrong, I really like these, and I would probably agree with you. This is the best vapor upper from just a material standpoint that I've ever come across. This is incredible.
Yeah.
It's not perfect, but it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be. Like, you know what I mean? For me, it will more than likely still get an overall positive review. But there's definitely, it's not perfect. There's a couple of issues there. And speaking of AG, obviously this is the AG plate. This, I don't know whether it's this particular colorway or what, but this just scratched up immediately. Like it just got like, oh my god! I stepped on an AG pitch and it just went and got crazy scratched up. It was mad.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I suppose we can't expect too much, but still.
Yeah, like I feel like I don't know. I almost feel like I'm pulling a U with the Vapor 13, and that like I'm being more negative because of the overall positivity. There's so much positivity about this boot, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's like," I've heard people say it's better than the Vapor 13. I know you don't like them, but you know, for sake of argument, that's the pedestal people are putting this on, and I'm kind of a little bit like, is it though? Like that's kind of where I'm at. So I don't know. But yeah, I love how like obvious this little thing is. I like right here, like that is.
Yeah, I noticed when I tightened my boots up. Like I took that picture yesterday or a couple of days ago, and it showed the outside of the boot. But like here, so in between all the laces,
Okay.
just below the lace line, it bulges up.
Okay.
So I got little gaps.
That's annoying.
When I
That's
go to
really
tighten
annoying.
it. Yeah.
Okay. So. I'm thankfully I haven't had that. But essentially that's where we're at with the vapors. Obviously your review is to come. I'm assuming that's your next review that's coming out.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna try and get a session in today, session in tomorrow, and then get the review out.
Nice.
So I've got I'm so backed up. It's ridiculous.
I'm away like on holiday from next week for a week. So I want to obviously get some content kind of set up so I'm not missing anything out. I'm probably going to delay my review until after I come back, and I'm going to do it with the new Nike Pack Mercurials. I have the Vapor on the way for the Mad Ambition Pack, which seamlessly transitions us into releases of the week, and let's rank them. Look at that. It's like I know what I'm doing.
Very nice.
So yeah, I have those on the way, and I will probably do my playtest review with those. So that seems to make sense to me anyway. But let's rank some boots. So this week we'll start with the Mad Ambition Pack. So which this name bugs me.
So stupid.
I really don't like it. I'm kind of not even against the whole kind of like Mad and Ready thing they've been doing, but I just don't like Mad Ambition as a name. So we've got the Tiempo, the GX, and the Mercurial, all in kind of like shades of blue. I feel like there's some that are better than others, but what's your overall thoughts, and where would you rank the boots?
I like the shade of blue on the Tiempo, which is
Yeah.
hilarious because it's the worst boot. Um, the Vapor is so close to this prototype one, man. What's
Right?
the point? Just go ham. Make all of them that dark blue, like a
Yeah.
dark blue Mercurial with a white swoosh. It'd be a nice flip, but they won't do that.
But I feel like that would have made sense. Just flip what you have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then it's different enough, and then you could still have this. I'm assuming they're looking for some kind of like synergy on the pitch where they all
Mm-hmm.
kind of look similar. But yeah, just flip it. Give us that Tiempo blue
Mm-hmm.
on the Mercurial. That would have been lovely. But yeah, I agree that Tiempo blue is fantastic. A
Yeah,
couple of
it's
people have
so
pointed
good.
out it's very CTR, like original kind of CTR, the blue into
Yeah,
the
yeah,
black.
it is.
Very, very. They could have almost got away with calling that like a remake type thing.
Yeah, I'd say the pack as a whole, you could put it in good.
Yeah, I agree. I think the pack all goes in good. There's nothing wrong with the Mercurial apart from the fact that they just ballsed up. I don't know. It needed to come out in 6 months or something.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. Before we move on to the next one, I'm just going to have a look at the chat, which has gone crazy. Welcome, everybody. I would normally go through and welcome everybody individually, but there's actually a lot of you. So thank you for joining us. And I'm just going to go straight to the next comment, which is from Miles Doig, I think it is, who has said the new Manias are horrendous, in my opinion. Adidas milking it for all it's got. So let's talk about the new Manias. We're doing releases. What are your thoughts on the Japan Blue Remake Manias we're getting?
I love that they're made in Germany. That's amazing.
I love that it's not just Germany as well. It's the Copa Mundial factory.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's so cool.
yeah. It's that's a really cool idea. The presentation looks amazing based on the unboxing that ProDirect Soccer did.
Yep.
That's awesome. I mean, that's great. The sole plate absolutely ruins it. It looks so cheap.
So bad.
It's really bad.
Like I
I
hate to
mean, they'll
agree
still
with
sell out, and I'm sure they'll
yeah.
be great. But yeah,
I hate to agree with Justin, but as soon as Justin saw these, the first thing he said is that like the sole plate is going to ruin it because obviously it doesn't have the split sole. Now you can do it without the split sole. They have done it before and it's not been terrible. But this particular sole plate in those colors on this
looks so cheap.
Oh, it's so bad. So bad.
It's a shame because the rest of the boot looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm. They have gone. What are your thoughts on them being calf leather rather than kangaroo leather?
Oh, it's stupid.
I don't see a reason for it.
Yeah, especially given what the price will be.
Mm-hmm.
Kangaroo leather.
Yeah, I know that if you are in America and unfortunately you obviously be too late to watching this now, but a few places, I think Soccer Pro and Soccer.com both dropped them today. So you were able to already buy them from certain places. So hopefully some people have them. Some people we know will have them in hand sooner because they're not scheduled to actually release here until the 29th of this month. So there's a still good bit until they go on sale.
Yeah, there's a lot of silence here as well. So I think the 29th.
Yeah, the silence is deafening kind of thing.
Yeah, basically.
I agree with you on the Preds overall. Like, my only other thought would be why. We had a Japan Blue not so long ago.
Yeah,
we didn't need another one. There was no need for this, no reason for this, other than obviously making some money. But yeah, I'm meh. It's for me the sole plate kind of ruins the look, so I would put it in good. Because it's still overall good and the presentation looks cool. I love that it's made in Germany. I do think they could have toned down the made in Germany stitching on the tongue. It's a little bit like made in Germany.
It's super wild.
But yeah, there's a little bit of fatigue from me as well of just like, endless Mania remakes. Where's the Powerswerve already?
Where's the Powerswerve, man?
Where is the Powerswerve? Here we go. Who we got here? I'm just going to look down. Mania's horrendous. Yes. Coralie says hi to Andrew and James. She's watching along. Hi,
Hi,
Coralie.
hi,
So
Carly.
Coralie is our friend Yuli at Quetzalcoatl.x. So you'll see him there. He's the admin. His daughter is watching along, so that's great. Julio is loving the new Mercurials, by the way. So
He
he's
is.
he's calling you specifically a hater
Yes,
for on the new Mercurials,
I
but
knew that happened.
that
I
is to
knew
be
that happened. It's
expected.
fine.
Yeah, Footloose boots is absolutely right. That I still forgotten the name of that technology where you sank into the boot. Like they made a big deal out of it, and then year by year it just became less and less important, less and less prevalent. The same with ACC, to the point where ACC is now no longer on the boot. I know you don't need it because obviously it's got GripNet, but it's now just not a thing, and you get it on takedown models and things like that.
There's a question in here asking what leagues we play in.
Oh, I see.
None right now. I'm still looking for a team, but I was playing in a regional league here.
Yeah, and I haven't played competitively for a while. I haven't played in leagues or anything like that. I play pickup mainly. Occasionally drop in for some games with for like a league team if they pull me in, but it's like 7-a-side leagues. And I play pickup. There's a spot near me that has the same. It's the same pickup game at the same time every single week.
Nice.
So and just whoever turns up turns up. So yeah, I just go down there. I play pickup. So yeah,
Nice.
that's what I do. I will be clear. I've never claimed to actually be good at football. I just know a lot about boots. Oh dear.
Once upon a time, I was quick. I was very quick.
I feel like I was quick once upon a time, but I'm not actually sure that's true. I don't think I was actually ever quick.
I know I was.
Yeah, well,
I don't want to be arrogant, but I know I was.
I was a goalkeeper most of the time, so I didn't have to be that quick.
Yeah. What else do we have for this week? What else?
So for this week, I don't even know if you've seen these yet because obviously it's very early there. Did you see that Skechers just dropped a new pack?
Another pack?
Another pack. It's black. It's basically their blackout, but it has green highlights. So the Skechers is in either white or silver with a kind of like a green outline. It's got green stud tips, but essentially it is black. It's essentially a black boot. I don't love it. It might be my least favorite Skechers boot so far. I'm just quickly bringing up I posted on my story not so long ago, so I'm just bringing it up so I can give an accurate description. So it's essentially a silver Skechers logo with a green outline, green stud tips. The rest of it is black. That's pretty much it for both the Razor and the SKX. The SKX has like the pattern that's on the other one, the kind of yellow one. It has that same pattern through the forefoot as well, in kind of like a whitey silver. So it's like a blackout, but they haven't gone far enough. So people who want blackout aren't going to buy it because it's not a blackout. And yet we have another black pack of boots. And overall, I don't particularly like it. It would be a meh for me.
Yeah, that's such a bizarre decision. Yeah, I'm putting in meh.
Yeah, but that literally dropped a few hours ago. It's 7 hours ago, according to the Skechers football post. So you will not have been seeing that.
Nope.
What else have we got? So we spoke about Mad Ambition, the Predator Mania. So Puma kind of officially launched their Formula Pack, but we've already spoken about that with the purple Ultra. And then did Mizuno drop a Morelia Neo 4 colorway to go with the pack of everything this week?
They did.
They did, didn't they?
Blue.
Yep. Yeah, which is it's good. Like it looks nice. It's nothing special, but it's hard to make that boot look bad.
True. It's the usual Mizuno white with a color.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I don't hate that.
Yeah, I don't hate it either. Ricky's calling it boring.
It is a little boring.
It is a bit boring, but it's still good. They still sold out here immediately.
Yeah.
They're gone almost everywhere. They're gone. So people can call them boring all they want, but they know their market.
They know what's going to sell.
Yeah, most of their market's in Japan. Like I said before, like half of their market's in Japan. Why would they mess up the golden goose?
Yeah, absolutely. They could potentially look at modifying something to get to sell overseas, but don't mess with where you're making your money, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
nah, makes
Yeah.
sense.
So I'll put it in good.
Nice. Fine. Good overall. And for me, I think that's everything that we've had this week.
No,
Oh,
because
what
Yuli made a very good point.
what
Ida,
have we? Hmm?
Ida Sports, the women's boot brand.
I didn't see that at
Oh,
all.
like a Dawn pack or something. They've got 3
Right.
boots. They all look really good.
Okay. I'm literally gonna look this up while we're on the.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, right?
Are these the blue ones?
Yeah, there's a black, there's kind of like a blue, and there's like a white one as well.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. Okay, and then they've got their different tiers. Okay, I completely missed this. So this dropped yesterday.
Mhm.
Um, you know what? They look,
Rise with the
yeah,
Dawn pack.
yeah, and then each one
Yeah.
there's kind of like there's daybreak and various things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You see, it's nice. They have managed to make the boots look more appealing
They have, yeah.
with those colorways, because it's one of their fatal flaws, as far as I think, is that their boot design, as excellent as it might be in terms of for women's feet, it doesn't look great. So people
Mm-hmm.
don't want to wear it. They really
Yeah.
have to get boots that look great.
Mm-hmm.
They probably could have done without the massive Eda down the side, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit much. It's not particularly, but the colorways are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would put that in good.
Yeah. Same here.
Nice. And I would like to see them. I would like to see them do well. I want more people to give them a go, and hopefully
Yeah.
more women's
Absolutely.
specific boots and products are out there as the game grows. So I love that. I just want to obviously give a shout out to a few more people. Obviously, Justin is in the house, or he's trying to get in the house. I know he's still at work. Daniel
Mm-hmm.
Johnson's just finished work. He hasn't missed us. No,
Yes.
Daniel, you haven't. Same time every week. Jay Martins is here. D Rod is here. Thank you very much
Boot
for
Zone
joining
is
us.
here.
D Rod says Mania is going to be really nice once in hand and in use. Yeah, I don't doubt that they'll be great to play with, but yeah, the look is not great. So pearlescent colorway looks better. We will talk about that at a later date,
Yeah.
James. Rules of the podcast: we don't talk about things that aren't officially released yet. OC Boot Blog makes an excellent point. The colorway makes sense with the Euros pack, but they should have dropped it at the same time. I completely agree. They should have dropped the Japan Blue remake at the same time as the Euros pack. And I do not know why they didn't do that.
The fact that they didn't was, well, okay. Counterpoint, maybe people would have expected it to be on feet of players. And since none of the players were ever going to wear them, then it would have made it look like, oh, do the players have a problem with them? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, because that is kind of how people would read into it for sure. That's a good point. Let's have a look here. AD says, "Give us the power swerve." Yes, AD.
Yes, we need a power swerve remake so bad. I'm on my last pair.
You're on your last pair of power swerves. Oh, we need remakes immediately. Remakes immediately. Yeah. I'm really hoping they pull what they did with the precision with the David Beckham precisions with the power swerve, and they have a synthetic and a leather, because there were synthetic power swerves. Like they did make them, the Beckham ones. So like having both, please Adidas.
They made
I really want
4 different colorways of the power swerve for Beckham.
Yeah, I think so.
There's the white gold, there's
gold
the navy gold, and then there's the 2 Climate Cool colorways. The white navy and the silver gold, which is amazing.
Yeah. So why not? Yeah. Okay. On to, before we will continue to look at the chat, please continue to put your comments and questions into the chat there for us. We will get to them as we go through. However, we are going to attempt to not go stupid long this week.
We do need to talk about what Adidas did this week.
What did Adidas? Oh,
okay.
Go on. Please do.
People can complain about politics getting into our podcast, whatever. The world is political. How clean your air is political. How you live your life is political. What time you wake up in the morning and go to work is political. Your salary is political. Everything is political. So Adidas launched a campaign of the SL72, which is a silhouette tennis or trainer based on the shoe worn at the 72 Berlin or Munich Olympics, not Berlin, Munich. And rather famously, that's the Olympics where a bunch of Israelis were held hostage and offed, basically. So Adidas has done a bunch of new colorways. They all look really cool just to kind of celebrate the anniversary of them. I love, that's a great shoe, blah, blah, blah. And then they used a woman who is part Palestinian in the ad campaign.
Yeah, it's Gigi Hadid, I think, was that who they used?
Yeah. Yeah. Spot on. Nice pronunciation. And basically, the State of Israel's Twitter tagged Adidas's Twitter and was complaining about how anti-Semitic it was to promote this campaign with a Palestinian. And
and essentially added, like, it's one thing for Israel to do it, but Adidas actually backed down. Like, they backed down and folded on it, and it's just, and it's like obviously we spoke about this off pod, and it's mad how that seems to be intrinsically linked to the fact that obviously the German government are still supporting Israel, and Adidas is very closely aligned with the German government, and essentially, like, with everything that's going on,
someone on high told them just nix the campaign.
Yeah, like somebody above somebody in a position when you need to get rid of this.
Yeah, and nobody's going to sit there and say it's cancel culture, but that is literally the definition of cancel culture.
For something that a government doesn't like because a certain person has been used to promote a campaign.
For run of private businesses not private, publicly owned, like by shares and stuff.
Yeah.
Ad campaign or brands ad campaign.
I think it's important that we, like you say, it's not football boots, it's political as well, but like it's still a company that operates within our space, and it's not out of the realms of possibility that this happens with a football boot in the future.
Yeah.
So I think you have to address it now, and the fact that this is even possible and is happening, you have to address it now rather than just like knee jerk, it's happened to what we care about. Like this is like realistically that what is happening is a much bigger than us and boots, and the fact that a government is dictating to another government and another company in another country what they can and can't do based on their beliefs when the world is mainly against their actions is insane.
Well, I will say, just as a quick aside, as a lead on from this, I like what FIFA Pro does. They do a lot of great promotion for their players. They talk about mental health. They did a thing recently about how women professional footballers have really terrible eating habits because of the pressures and stuff, and which is, I guess, shouldn't be shocking, but it's still wild to see. But they have not made one statement about any of the Palestinian footballers who have been killed.
No.
So, that's, sorry, that's a bummer, but it needs to be said.
It's okay. Certain things have to be discussed at various times, and it does make for an awkward transition into the topic of the week. But
we've definitely been demonetized now. So.
Yeah, we will draw a line underneath it, and we will continue on to the topic of the week. Please do leave your thoughts in the comments or in the live chat if you're there. Feel free; like, it's a safe space. Everybody can leave their opinions and have an open discussion. But obviously, as always, please do so respectfully and respectful of everybody's opinions in the chat and comments there. Yuli is on hand to take charge should anything get out of hand.
Oh, and the guy from Sweden is back, and he has a better name this time. It's Bong Daisuke, which is I love bongs.
You know what? We'll take that. We'll take that. Our friend from Sweden.
Yep. I
Thank
like
you
that.
very much.
Yeah. Thanks for changing that. I appreciate it. That former name.
Oh, okay. Tournament packs. So what I did in preparation for this podcast, because I do like to prepare occasionally, is I wrote down every tournament pack I could think of all the way from Euro 2008, because to my knowledge, the first tournament packs were around that time. I don't know any full pack that was before then. We had individual boots, but the Nike kind of brown blue pack and the Tunic Countries packs kind of feel like the first tournament packs to me.
Well, the first Tunic Countries pack was 2006.
Right. Well, there you go. Okay.
But I will say for the Tunic packs, those were just for one boot. It didn't go across the whole line.
This is true. So it doesn't really count. So your first boot pack is 2008 with that Nike brown and blue pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so go on.
That pack was, so I think it was like May, and the Nike sales rep ran in one day. It was like May 2008, and he was like, by the way, we have these boots coming. They're all leather. Order these. And we're like, okay. And he's like, I'm going to try and secure as many pairs as possible for you, but they've already been made. So I don't know if that's his mess up, but what he was saying was that they literally got told about it by Nike like the previous day. And it was like the very first thing in the morning the next day. And he was like, y'all got to order these. As soon as you order them, they're going to get shipped immediately. So those showed up like in 2 weeks.
It's just like, here's the thing. Quickly, get it.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was kind of like the first tournament pack.
Yeah, the first tournament pack. And they didn't even make like that big a deal out of it, because I always remember like Torres in the final was still wearing the white and red T90s there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So it wasn't even like every single person was wearing them, but at the same time, definitely the first tournament pack. So the way that I kind of thought we could do this is I'll run through what I have listed for each kind of tournament. You can tell me if I've missed anything, and then if there's any in particular that we're like, okay, this is the best, this is a great tournament pack, we can talk about that one in particular. And I'm hoping that by the end of this, we might have what we consider to be a top 5. So I don't think the brown blue pack, despite being like the first one, deserves to be in a top 5. And we move on.
No.
So
they felt amazing in hand.
I never held a pair. Never had a pair in hand.
Well, I sold them at the store. Well, they felt amazing in the hand, but all the lasers got recalled for a manufacturing defect.
Of course.
Which I was literally, this is what I should have done. I wanted to buy the laser, and I didn't. And then they got recalled. I should have just yanked one aside and bought it anyways and been like, oh, sorry, I didn't know.
So 2010, I have Adidas with the kind of black and yellow pack. It's just a load of black and yellow boots.
Yeah.
Puma, kind of the only thing I saw, I don't even know if it's a whole pack. I just remember them having a V110, like a black and orange pack with black and orange boot.
They had a Power Cat as well.
Okay. Oh, they did. They did.
So
but they called that a Tricks boot as well, didn't they? Despite obviously in future Tricks becoming two different, like the two different boots. And then Nike obviously had the 2010, the kind of was it orange and purple, I suppose, orange and lilac kind of pack, which I think does deserve a serious mention. That is a pack. That is like
and it's really hard to tell in pictures. You have to have the pictures of them in a certain light, which they didn't do back then. But like in hand, just the subtle purpleness like really shone through. And it's so weird. I have like this memory of the smell.
Interesting.
Of like, I guess what they used to like freshen the shoes up before they ship them and stuff.
Okay.
And that smell lasted. So every time I see one of those boots, I can kind of almost smell it again. It wasn't a bad smell. They smelled good, but it was just like, that evokes memories of that World Cup for me, really easily.
See, I think this is one of the key things for a tournament pack. You have to be able to remember it in association with the tournament that it was in and things that happened in that tournament. And this, for me, is the first time that you get a proper tournament pack where you're like, this is that World Cup. And I remember that. Like I say, Adidas had the black and yellow thing, but I didn't whatever. That purple and orange or lilac and orange, whatever, is just, it looks great. It stood out. It is the boot of that World Cup. It is one of the only things that like from there that are like apparel wise that I'm like absolutely that. I think that goes into consideration for our kind of top 5 tournament packs.
it's so funny, the black and yellow Addy pack, because those released and the pack itself wasn't great, but like the F50 is one of the most consequential boots
Yep.
of the past 20 years. And uh, outside of that pack, they did the Messi.
Mm-hmm.
And the reasoning, that it's so funny. That colorway is so iconic now. I mean, you've got them on pretty
Yeah.
much, these, and you've had tons of remakes and stuff, and so many different Messi boots have come back with that colorway. Messi wasn't supposed to wear that colorway.
Oh, really?
That was a last minute change because they had made the yellow black F50s for Messi to wear. And
Right.
he was like, I'm not wearing Brazil colors at a World Cup.
Oh.
So they had to go back to the drawing board and do a completely new colorway for him. And they came up
And
with the
that's how I ended with
purple and,
purple.
yep.
That's
What?
amazing.
Yeah. Our rep came in, was basically like, we've got these. And he's like, and I can't show you the Messies because I don't have a sample yet, but he had like the yellow F50 in hand. And he was like, he was supposed to wear these, but obviously he's
But
not
it's
going to
not.
wear Brazil colors.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And obviously makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So we'll put that one in our pile of potentials. Moving on to 2012, we have, in my opinion, another fantastic Nike pack with the Clash pack.
Oh, so good.
Adidas kind of dropped I don't know if it had a name, kind of blue and orange kind of jazz
Yeah.
pack, which is,
I don't remember what it was called, but
yeah, it was blue and orange.
Yeah.
And then Puma did like a white, red, and blue pack, which I only really remember the Evo Speed from.
Yeah.
So the Puma one, I'm not really whatever. The Adidas one, I think, has some kind of like iconic memories from the F50, maybe a little bit from the
The
Pred.
F50 stood out so well, though.
Yeah.
That was one of the things. The Preds kind of stood out, but they were pretty toned down. But because the F50 was the reverse of those colors,
yeah, it's bright orange in a lot of it.
It was so easy to see on pitch, especially because Nike's pack was, I don't want to say, I'd say like tame by comparison.
Well, the majority of the boot wasn't a color, was it? So that kind of is questionable. But yeah, I again, for me, I don't think that Adidas kind of blue orange pack would be in contention for a pack. But the Clash pack, the Clash pack
was so nice. And I loved that they had, it's easy to show because this is a white sole plate, but like on this part of the sole plate right before the color came in, it showed you like how much of the three main colors they used to make each color. Yeah, that was really cool.
And it's a small detail, but it's so cool to add those things.
Yep. Yeah. And
something that gets missed a little bit these days, I think.
Yeah. That Tampo especially sold like crazy. They were gone immediately, and we managed to get a restock somehow. But every single, like, even the kids, like, cheap Tampo, that was gone. Wow. So, like, indoors, turfs, takedowns, everything just disappeared. And that was one of the first packs where they had takedowns and the colorways. Okay. Like, in 2010, Adidas did the takedowns in the different colorways, but, like, for Nike, for that pack, they only did their elite models. There was no kids models or anything like that, which is a huge missed opportunity on their part.
Massively.
But, yeah, I can kind of understand why they did it, but yeah, that was a. They figured it out. They figured it out by 2012, and yeah, that Euro pack, ooh, so good.
But, yeah, I think that again, Clash pack definitely goes into. I don't, without question, that's going to end up in the top 5. But yeah, that's again iconic. Remember exactly that boot, that tournament, those players. I think there's no question that the Clash pack is in there.
Yeah,
there we go. Okay, well, next up we go to obviously 2014. So here we have arguably 3 very iconic packs. So Nike, again, I don't know the name of the pack, but it's the one where they introduced the Superfly and the Obra, obviously that red and yellow, whatever, watermelon or whatever it is, Superfly, the Obra in kind of the bright, more Vault type color. Then you've got Puma with a Tricks pack. It's like a genuine kind of pink pink and blue Tricks. And then Adidas had the Battle pack. That is 3 really iconic packs to the point where obviously They're either still iconic boots or they're colorways that have kind of been brought back and reused.
Oh, Ollie points out that the Nike pack had a full takedown colorways for the Mercurial line. I'd forgotten that. He's right.
Oh, there you go. Thank you, Ollie. Appreciate it. Wasn't 2010 Nike pack only in elite versions? Yes, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes, but the Mercurial did have kids. I completely memory hold that. So appreciate that, Ollie. That's what what it helps to have boot nerds inside the chat.
Boot nerds in the chat to save us.
Yeah.
There we go. Justin says the T90 Clash is one of my all-time goat boots.
Oh,
totally get that. Totally get that.
Yeah.
That's twice. I've called out Justin for being right once on this pod, and I've just said he's right again there. What is going on?
He was so happy because I told him last week on his podcast. I left a comment and told Colby to listen to him. And on this week's podcast, he was like, "Even Andrew's saying you should listen to me."
Yeah, no, I did. I watched the pod. I just left a comment about feeling attacked because they were talking about hairlines.
Same, man. Same.
Anyway, to 2014.
Yep.
Now, I don't think this is a controversial statement at all, but I don't like the battle pack. It's iconic, but it's not a good-looking pack.
The battle pack was so funny because it did not sell.
Yeah, because it's ugly.
And I pointed out how ugly it was directly to the rep's face, directly to my owner's face, because they're talking about sell-through. And sell-through was like at 55%, which is decent, but they were expecting like 65 to 70% sell-through, which is insane. Okay. And they're just like, I remember saying, do you think it's because the boots are just ugly? And both of them look at me and go, no, there's been enough advertising to where it wouldn't matter. And I'm like, it doesn't matter if you got all the advertising. The story didn't make sense.
Yeah.
They showed some mythical silhouettes doing battle and stuff.
Yeah.
That didn't make sense. It looked ugly. And I remember we had to return a bunch of them. But it's funny how things change because, like, you know, we're 10 years on from that. Now people are talking about how good the battle pack was. And every once in a while, like a buying selling group, I'll see like people say like, oh, does anybody have any battle pack Preds or battle pack Nitro Charges or the Adipure, which was awful.
I think the best one was probably the F50 because it had that
definitely
blue.
The F50. Yep.
Like, but yeah, on the
blue
whole,
was only on the Messi.
Oh, was it only on the Messi?
Windows, there's an update. Yeah, the Messi one had the blue on it, but the non-Messi one only had black, white, and orange.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and so it's so funny how people are like, "Oh yeah, this pack was amazing. Oh, yeah. I remember it's so cool." And like at the time, it was panned by everybody.
Yeah, so for me, like, I don't think the battle pack can go into best boots, even though it's kind of become iconic and Adidas are even reusing the pattern and things like that. Like at the time, you're saying it didn't sell. I'm saying it was ugly as hell. So I think the battle pack gets shunted for that exact reason. Now, I think the Nike pack is an interesting one because I don't think it's necessarily the best looking pack.
No.
But what it stands for in terms of the introduction of that Superfly, the introduction of Flyknit, the dynamic fit collar, the Obra, that is enormous. That is such a big deal to the point where, irrespective of color, it probably needs to go on the list.
Yeah, it's so wild to think. And I argue that it could only do that because, like, if they didn't have the Obra or they didn't have the Superfly, the impact wouldn't have been anywhere near as big.
Agreed.
And we'd look back on the one boot, but the fact that we got two boots at the same time that were just like they're game changers. You know,
we're still feeling the impact of those boots now.
Today,
like materials, styles, everything.
Yep.
That 10 years on, those boots are still critically important to where we are with football boots these days. And I think because of that, like I say, they don't look bad. I'm not saying they look bad at all. That Superfly in particular, I think it's a really nice looking boot. It's just not, it's not Clash Pack kind of like iconic colorways, is it?
Yeah.
But the boots themselves are so important that I think that definitely has to go on our list
has to be in the conversation.
Something else I would like to at least put in the conversation here is that Puma Tricks pack. I love that
Yeah,
Tricks pack,
that
and Puma
was
keep going back to it.
that wasn't their first Tricks pack they did, but that was their first tournament Tricks pack they did.
Yes, yeah.
And yeah, that was again, that has to be talked about. No, but it's funny because it's not because of the boots this time. It's because of the colorway.
It's because of
It
the
was
colorway.
so visually different on pitch.
Yeah.
And I remember we didn't bring that many of them in, but people were actually like banging down the doors wanting Puma boots. And we're like, wow, this is really weird. So
that's
we
it.
brought
Like,
in
when
extra.
have you ever had that before where people are like, I want Puma boots?
Not since 06.
Exactly.
06, 07, like they were selling really well, but like there was a slow downward trend after that. But they, with that pack, you know, people really were like, yeah, I want this Puma. We had kids coming in, adults coming in, Sunday leaguers coming in. Like everybody wanted it because it was just so different.
Yeah. Like I for me, again, like obviously we'll come to a final decision at the end, but I think that one goes into conversation as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I like, honestly, of all the boots that we're kind of going through right now, if you could ask me to kind of pick one that I would want, it might be that. Like
that
if
Evo Power?
The Evo Power, yeah. If you're like Evo Power in a Tricks pack from 2014, sell a kidney for one of them. I missed out on the remake as well when they did them in the. Obviously, I know they were in the Ultra and stuff, and that was when I wasn't really reviewing, and I was like, I can't justify buying these, so I didn't, and I'm kind of sad, despite the fact that I don't love the boots. But anyway, iconic colorways. Okay, so that takes us up to the Women's World Cup in 2015.
2015, yeah. So we started getting Women's World Cup packs.
You may correct me, but this is the first time that I know of us getting women's packs.
Yeah.
So Adidas did some complete ass by they basically took two existing boots and made them white with yellow and white with orange.
2013, they had a women's pack.
What did they have in 2013? What have I forgotten?
I say a women's pack. They had there was a Vapor and there was a CTR.
Okay.
And I remember because Abby Wambach was supposed to wear the CTR, but refused because she liked the Clash Pack colorway.
Oh.
Yeah. They're trying to push her into that. Yeah. I remember specifically
what they look like.
They were trying to push her specifically into those, and she refused.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, 2015 is where we started actually seeing packs.
Okay. So we have the Adidas with an Ace and an X. They did with in white, orange, and kind of white, bright yellow. I don't love them. They were almost Clash Pack-esque, but done in a bad way. And then Nike drops what I think are some really nice colors using kind of the Vault and Blue Lagoon colorways. I even remember exactly what the colorways are on those. That was with obviously like the Hypervenom 2 and things like that. I think they were really nice. Now, admittedly, I don't think they're like iconic, need to go on the list, but they're nice looking.
Yeah, they're super nice. I don't know. I've got pretty fond memories of that World Cup.
Oh, okay. I've been putting marks next to the ones that we like, so like they can go in the conversation. So I'll do that with that one.
They looked really good. We had
they look amazing.
That was the first women's specific colorways where we had guys coming in asking for them.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, like obviously women want to wear them, but we had a lot of guys buy pairs as well.
Oh, that's one of the best. That might be my favorite Hypervenom 2 colorway.
Yeah, which is saying something because that boot looked awful in almost everything.
But hard boot to make look good. We'll move on to... Sorry, go on.
Sorry, I do remember that's the time that a guy came in and screamed at me for 30 minutes because there was a slight pull in the upper. The upper was coming away from the sole plate, and I was just keep an eye on it. Yeah. And I remember, I've got pretty good peripheral vision. I can see there's a window right there, and I can see outside right now.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing out my peripheral vision, him yelling at me and seeing different managers, 3 different managers come down, we had a ramp, come down the ramp, turn around and just nope out of there. And I remember looking this at one point, and I could hear the door behind me opening and then closing again.
Nobody wanted to deal with that.
Yeah. And then after the guy left, the owner's son had come back. He was working with us at the time. The owner's son had come back after running some errands, and I was telling him about this customer. He's like, "Damn it! I wish I was here. I would have." I was just like, "Well, it's probably not a good idea." He's like, "No, I don't care how big the guy is. You don't treat people like that."
Nice. So, gotta love that.
Yeah.
I just add in the chat here, like, a lot of love for those Superfly, the women's Superflies that we were just talking about. And Justin makes a good point. The women's Nike Boots Superfly 4 Hypervenom 2 with the matching USA jerseys are really great combination.
Yeah, they were really good.
So he's thinking of the orange, white, blue, but I know what he's thinking of.
Yeah.
So yeah, really, really nice. Okay, I've lost my list. Here we go. So we're up to 2016. So we have the Nike Spark Brilliance pack, which I didn't nothing special about that, I don't think. The Adidas Mercury pack, which was kind of the silver pack. Which
Bellissimo.
Yeah, so that's a great pack for me. It's like silver with highlight colors.
Yeah,
that's
and the way they chromed out the silver on the plus models, or like your pure chaos, your pure speeds. That's when we started getting all these like we got the pure chaos and pure agility.
Yeah.
And that they just look so good and like even better in hand. They just did such a good job on those.
Yeah. Those are, for me, the thing with those is those are the defining colorway that you remember of those boots, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, which I think is a lot. Like, if you remember one particular colorway for a boot and it's those, I think that's quite impressive.
They had a lot of good colorways in those boots too. That whole line got great colorways. Yeah. But just the first ones they did for both of those was just like, wow.
Yeah, I think the marketing helps on that as well, because they went big with that. So that's the one that sticks in your mind. I think that definitely goes on the short list for sure.
Yeah.
And then the Puma pack for that one is another Tricks pack. It's the pink and orange, which I think is fairly iconic, but not as iconic as the previous kind of 2014 Tricks pack. Yeah. Which is fine. Okay, moving on. We have 3 packs that I think are reasonably forgettable. Not they're bad, but they're forgettable. World Cup 2018. I've got the Nike Just Do It pack, which was essentially white with highlights, which isn't bad a thing, but there was nothing really there that kind of stood out.
They tried repeating the Euro 2. They tried repeating the Clash pack and didn't pull it off.
Didn't pull it off. They didn't go big enough with the color splash, basically.
No. And I will say this as well. Those Vapor 12s looked disgusting by the end of the tournament.
Yeah,
you could tell the players had been wearing them a lot, and all of the boots looked awful by the end of the tournament because they were so dirty. And that's like, I know you can't prevent stains and stuff, but that's a big miss from Nike. That didn't happen with the Clash pack.
Yeah, because of the materials, of course. And you have to kind of predict that by the time you get into the final, what's your boot going to look like? If somebody wears it through every game, which is likely, plus maybe some training sessions, like, what's your boot going to look like at the end? A bit of an error there. Then we've got Puma had the Puma 1 and the Puma... the other thing. But they were green and silver. I remember Griezmann wearing them, but like... you get net fit, I think, here for the first time. But I don't dislike them. I still remember them, but I don't think they're iconic in any way. And then Adidas, we got the Energy Mode pack, which I don't know why I remember
Frozen
that.
With me, buddy.
But again, they're not bad looking, but
okay,
they're not really doing it for me either.
Okay, you just froze for a little bit and you dropped back in. Yeah.
Sorry, I was talking about how the Adidas pack was kind of not bad, but like forgettable. There wasn't really any cohesion to the pack either. The orange Nemesis, the blue X was nice. Then the electricity Predator, forgettable. I have no love.
This is when we also see. We need to mention the New Balance Etruska pack.
That's very nice. That's a very nice pack.
Super nice.
White and red.
Yeah, and it's funny because it wasn't crazy, but it looked really good, and it didn't look disgusting as the tournament went on.
The Tequila was a good boot in that too. The Tequila was a very good boot.
It was very
good. I really
boot.
liked that.
Yeah, and then we've got to mention Mizuno finally had a pack for World Cup.
See, I was hoping you'd do this because I don't have any Mizuno packs till 2022 because I couldn't remember any of them.
Yeah, so we had the Passion Red pack, I think it was.
Right,
and
yes,
everything was like
I know the one.
Yeah, it was a good red, like a
Proper
really
deep
good
red.
Yeah,
somebody needs to go and give
so...
that color sample to Adidas for their tongues.
Yeah, seriously, it looked so good. And I remember my friend was working at a store here at the time, and he was like, "Hey, there's this Mizuno pack coming. It looks really good. If you want them, let me know now because they will be gone immediately."
Yeah.
And I was like, I probably shouldn't buy right now, but yeah. So I picked up the Rebula 2 from that pack, and because it was a release colorway for the Rebula 2, and it was the colorway just so good.
Beautiful colorway.
The Morelia 2 was gone immediately. I remember going into a store on the day of the launch, and they had like 2 pairs left. And they weren't taking pre-orders or anything. It was just show up and get them. And then the Morelia Neo 2 at the time was really good as well. Yeah.
Okay. So yes, I do remember the pack, but I didn't remember it was for the World Cup there. So that's great. So I think in there, of the 2018 ones, as much as the Mizuno one was great, I think the only one that's even worth considering for the list is the New Balance one.
Yeah, agreed.
So I'll put a little mark next to that.
And along with those, I guess it's a single model, so you can't really call it a pack. Pantofolo d'Oro had been doing packs. They did 2012, they did 2014, they did 2018, but they weren't really great, and they didn't really
do much.
No, and I've kind of memory hold them because they just blended together so much with their other ones.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why I do a podcast with Andrew, because he knows these things and I have to do research. The man is just a wealth of knowledge. So we'll move on to the Women's World Cup in 2019. Actually, I'm just quickly going to address a question in the comments here from Tracker. Anyone know why Boot Wizard hates black colorways? There are 2 reasons why I hate black colorways. One is I think they look weird on my feet. I feel like I'm wearing school shoes, and I don't like it. I just don't like the way it looks on my feet. And the other being is that they are generally boring as hell, and I'll much prefer a whiteout all day long. I just love the way they look. A blackout from like point of view, I don't like it one bit. But yeah, there you go. There's the answer to your question, Tracker. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So Women's World Cup 2019, we get 3 packs. We get the Nike Victory pack, which I think was really nice. We have the Adidas pack, which is kind of like a pinky orange type colorway. They did not push that at all. They did not make a big deal out of this at all one bit. It felt like an afterthought, and they weren't asked. And then in the opposite end of the spectrum, Puma launched the Trailblazer pack, which were very nice, and Puma pushed the balls off them. Like they had everybody promoting those. There was a proper like kind of ad campaign and everything for those. I remember these very well, all 3 packs. And again, I don't think any of them are necessarily iconic, even though I really do like that Victory pack. I think that Victory pack is excellent. I think the way that it wasn't just a colorway pack. They properly tried to lean into kind of like this Women's World Cup idea. They had different kind of lettering, logoing, the kind of wings design up the side of the Phantom Venom. A really beautiful pack of boots, but maybe not iconic. The Adidas one's a joke, and I appreciate Puma's effort, but again, not necessarily iconic. I remember these ones very well because I was at a large portion of that tournament. So I was in France. I hadn't been with my girlfriend, who is now my wife, for that long at the time, and we were living in Denmark. I was like, so how do you feel about kind of going on holiday to France? She's like, yeah. I'm like, how do you feel about going and watching like 6 women's World Cup games? So she was like, yeah, sure. So
Nice.
they're probably terrible. I haven't rewatched them in forever, but I kind of
But
vlogged a
you
few of them
vlogged,
onto
yeah.
my YouTube and stuff, and I had a massive bitch and moan about how badly France had done at promoting the tournament. But yeah, I had loads of fun. That was such a good tournament. I remember the boots, the packs. There's even, if you do go and watch the videos, I'm not kind of actually pushing you to, because I don't think they're going to be great. I do boot spotting at every game, or like I do think I do it 3 or 4 games, and like I like zoom in and catch like players wearing all kinds of crazy boots, which you get really well. Because there wasn't a huge, not all the athletes were kind of sponsored, not as much as they are now. So you had this mad array of just boots from all over the place. It's very, very cool.
I love that.
But yeah, anyway, your thoughts on any of those? Anything that particularly stands out to you?
No, not really. That was a pretty good tournament, but I just moved here and there wasn't as much hype around here. So I didn't get to watch that many matches, unfortunately. There's some iconic matches at that World Cup, but I don't feel like the boots didn't really stand out to me as much as they did in 2015.
That's exactly how I feel. How I feel. Like, I think they were great packs. It's a better tournament, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, there's things missing. So Alan Diaz, I'm sorry guys, had to be said, what's wrong with looking like the FIFA default boots?
Oh yeah,
my Pro Club player rocked them for a bit. Now he's in a Vapor 15 Air Max. Lol. The FIFA default boots are terrible.
Well, he said Adler boots remind him of the FIFA default boots.
Boo. Yeah. Oh, he did at the top. I missed that bit.
Julio points out that we need an Adler World Cup pack.
That would be very nice.
For the next World Cup. We'll see. That's 2 years. That's 2 years. If there was to be a new boot, it'd be in gestation right now. And the colorways would probably already be talked about right now. So we'll see. Let's hope.
Justin points out, obviously, the Victories and Venoms on that Victory pack. Victory Venoms and Superfly, sorry, a 10 out of 10, yeah. Especially for the wings and the Nike goggles on them.
Yeah, absolutely. The details were great. But yeah, I don't know. Just it didn't impact me the same way the 2015 one did. Which is, again, it's so weird. The 2019 World Cup was objectively a better tournament.
I feel like, for me at least, it might have just been because obviously I was there, but I feel like that's kind of my kicking off point for where women's football starts to go like this. Yeah. At a rate. It'd been growing for a long time, but that's the point at which
when it just went like skyrocketing. This.
Exactly. Okay, on to 2021. There's not too many left. So obviously we have the Nike Impulse pack, the Adidas Super Spectral pack, and the Puma Spectra pack. Meh. Is that does anybody even remember what they look like? Obviously we do remember what they look like, but at the same time, so the Impulse pack is like that turquoisey thing from Nike. The Spectra pack is the white one with the lines from Puma, and what's the Super Spectral pack? I remember the name. I'm gonna have to actually Google it. Hold on. Super Spectral pack. Oh, okay, yeah, all right. So it has the it's not a great pack, but it has the Nemesis 19 in it that I really like, the one I got off you.
Oh, yeah.
The white and orange one. But it has that black and pink Predator, and then the pink Ghosted.
Justin points out, don't forget how it changed at the semifinals.
Which one did?
The Addy pack, I think. It switched to silver, blue, and red.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, it did.
It did. Yes, I remember, because there was a big thing about because the launch of that was a mess too.
Yeah,
like that kind of silver, blue, red thing was
still Corona, and yeah. That whole I'm getting demonetized so badly, but it's that whole I don't know. That whole tournament was such a mess and all over the place.
Yeah,
like trying to get back to normality, but the packs and everything reflected that.
And the packs were all obviously delayed. Well, they weren't delayed. They were just the pack. They weren't supposed to be those packs. Like the Adidas one previous was, I remember the previous Adidas pack was kind of like this with all the splashes of color on it. The
Yep.
Euphoria pack,
Yeah,
I want to say.
Euphoria pack. Yeah.
Uniphoria pack, that was it.
Uniform pack.
And yeah, that would have been a much better tournament pack.
And the
but
Nike
obviously,
Nike neighborhood pack as well.
the neighborhood pack, yeah. I made a
Yeah.
great video on that neighborhood pack.
Yeah.
If you're going to watch any of my videos, watch that one.
I do remember that.
That was a great video. I went all around Copenhagen into like neighborhoods to make that video. Really cool. That was damn, I put some effort into that one. Okay, on to 2022. And we have kind of some we have the Nike Women Bonded pack that releases around that time, but meh. Then so we have the Nike Generation pack, which again, the Puma Fearless pack, which I don't particularly love. That's kind of red and gold one. The Adidas Al Rihala
pack.
Yeah. Again, meh. And the New Balance Headline Taker pack, which was kind of like the silver one with the blue. And the best one of the bunch, in my opinion, is the Mizuno Azure Blue one that was released. That's probably the best
Mizuno
looking one.
Was really, really good.
But again, I don't think there's anything there that really stands out. And
I'm trying to tell myself, like, I'm trying to like rethink, like, oh, it can't, like, you know, are we too nostalgic for old tournaments? But that can't be it, because, like, you know, they just haven't hit the same.
Yeah, like look at it. Like the Nike Generation pack is the bronzy one. Is that really, if you put that up against the Clash pack side by side, which one are you picking?
Exactly.
Like, irrespective of kind of like nostalgia and all this stuff, I would put two colorways next to each other and say which one looks better. Like, there's nothing
that
there.
That Tiempo looked really good. Justin pointing out that Tiempo looked really, really good.
Oh, that was the kind of purpley Tiempo, wasn't it?
Yeah. That looked really good. But
I agree, that was nice.
Like, I know what they're trying to go for with that pack, but it just didn't land. Same with Adidas. It just didn't land at all.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. Honestly, I'm just so meh on the whole thing. It's not really, at no point that's really doing it for me. So yeah, I agree. The Tiempo was great looking, but as a pack, it's not doing the job. Okay, and that leads us on to Women's World Cup 2023. We get the Nike United pack, which is the orange one, which I think is really, really nice. I am not including the Nike pack that they released after the World Cup in those limited editions. They were very nice. The kind of white with the only a couple hundred pairs, one for every goal. They're not a World Cup pack. They were a post-money cash-in. Unless I'm wrong, I don't think Adidas had a pack for the Women's World Cup in 2023.
Yeah,
I think they were just rocking regular, like kind of whatever was in line at the time. And then Puma, again, I don't count this. Puma did the breakthrough pack, which is kind of like that blue color king and things like that. But that was the inline color for the start of the season. So that was just there, and they just happened to release it early. I don't count that as a proper.
Do you think the Women's World Cup packs there were because, again, 2 years in gestation, do you think that was a product of them just being like, we can't come up with anything for this Women's World Cup, or so overworked?
I think they were trying to catch up with so many things and get back on track with so many things that they were just like, something has to give. And in the end, it was the Women's World Cup packs that kind of like Adidas just shelved it entirely, and Puma were like, oh, here's a Women's World Cup pack, but we're just going to run this through into the season and don't think about it too hard. But yeah, like I say, the Nike one was really nice.
Weird because that World Cup really exploded.
Massive. I don't know how they didn't see that coming. Think of what you could have done.
Ollie makes a great point. I think the amount of colorways in which get released now makes tournament packs not hit the same. Yeah,
absolutely agree. That is such a good point.
Yeah, that's probably why we memorial so many of these things. And there's not really many iconic moments in a lot of these boots anymore because, they don't get time to be iconic.
Absolutely.
They just get thrown in.
Absolutely. And it does take something really special. And then even things like, so Bellingham hits his overhead kick in this tournament, and he's wearing the Japan Blue Predators. But that colorway is a redo of an old colorway, even though it's
from
a new boot.
2002. of a
Yeah.
boot that didn't get released outside of Japan.
Right. So your association with that colorway isn't Bellingham, that tournament, those boots. The association is, oh, that's a Japan Blue boot from a Mania in 2002.
Yep.
Because so I think they've kind of, again, you shot yourselves in the foot there. Eventually, I know nostalgia is strong and it's making sales and things like that, but eventually you have to make some things to be nostalgic about now.
I think
there's
that leads
nothing.
us nicely to the Euro packs.
It does lead us nicely to the Euro packs. So I have the Puma Forever Faster pack, which I really dislike. I don't know what it is. I do not like that pack at all.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. The Adidas Advancement pack, which is nice, but for me, not a tournament pack.
Yeah. I can kind of see how they're trying to make it a tournament pack, but it just needs a bit more.
Yeah, there's I don't know. It doesn't. There's something about it that I'm just like, this could have been any time of the year, anything pack, and I think the problem was it didn't stand out enough on the field. And I think part of the reason for that is the next boot that I'll mention, which is the Nike pack, which is the Mad Brilliance pack, which you can like, not like, whatever. That was the most noticeable pack on the field the entire tournament. For the Copa, you could not miss that bright pink pack. So just from a pure marketing standpoint, Nike killed it with that bright pink. That was genius. But it's not exactly an iconic pack. And I think part of the problem with this is potentially that, so all of those boots were pink. They were just pink. Okay, they did different kind of fades and things like that, but they were pink. If you look back at the boots that we've kind of like highlighted and we generally liked, like things like the Clash pack, the orange purple, there was a real defining feature, the Clash pack in particular, of each boot. So it's within a pack, but there's an identifying feature.
Yep. For each boot.
For each individual boot. The Mercury pack, the Adidas one, they're silver and chrome, but they have an identifying color feature. I think that makes for particularly a tournament pack to be very well kind of received, I think.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely agreed.
And then New Balance, again, I think did a beautiful looking pack, but they potentially suffered through lack of representation and messing around with Saka's boots too much. So they had the Lime Glow pack. And if I'm correct, Saka wore 3 different variations of the same boot in one tournament.
He did. He wore that Emilion
Dore. Yeah.
Yeah. He wore those. Then he wore the regular Lime Glow. Then he wore signature Lime Glow.
Yeah.
It's just, at a tournament, you need to have one boot.
Yeah.
You need to just have one boot and have them stick with it. The only people who've ever gotten away with that was Nike at 2014 World Cup when they slapped Neymar in some gold.
Yes. Yeah. But that's such a standout, and it's such, I just think that New Balance missed an opportunity there, especially considering that they only had 2-3 athletes at the tournament wearing New Balance, 2 of them playing for England. And I think Saka being the athlete, the standout athlete, and at games was also fantastic. Just stick a color on him. I don't care whether it's the Lime Glow and you're trying to push the main colorway, or if it's the Saka Lime Glow, which is very similar, or if it's the Emilion Dore one. Just pick one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just pick one and run with it. They just seem to release too much too soon. Overkill, which kind of killed the pack. And that's what you're saying about there's no opportunity for anybody to have moments in those boots. Because even if Saka has a moment in those boots, he's won 3 different variations of the same thing in the tournament. It's not a Saka tournament boot. It's just something that happened in a game. So I don't think there's really anything there either. Let's have a look. So, all right, let's go. So chat, I'm going to list the ones that we've highlighted, and you need to pick. They don't have to be in order, but I need you to pick 5. Pick your top 5 in the chat, please. Or if you're watching this on the pre-record, what's the phrase I'm looking for? If you're watching this afterwards in the edited version, then put it down in the comments. So I have the 2010 orange and purple Nike pack, the orange and lilac Nike pack.
Mhm.
I have the 2012 Nike Clash pack. I have the 2014, where Nike introduced the Superfly and the Obra, that pack. I have the Puma Tricks pack, also from 2014. I have the Women's World Cup 2015 colorways, including that kind of Volt Blue and Lagoon Hypervenom 2. I have the Adidas Mercury pack, which is the silver one with the color pops, and the New Balance Otrasuka pack. I think I've pronounced that correctly. So we have 7 boots. You need to kill 2.
I'm gonna throw the Passion Red pack in there as well.
Okay, and Andrew is calling Passion Red as well. Yeah. I think that's fine.
Well,
that's fine.
My son was also born during that World Cup.
Oh, okay. All right. If talking about pulling on the heartstrings, he's absolutely right. That can go in there.
He was born on the day of the Japan-Senegal match.
Right. Okay.
So
fair enough.
Yeah. That's a pack that's very close to my heart.
Yeah, I can completely see why. I like, again, for Women's World Cup in 22, I could only really I could only really find the bonded pack, but anyway. Okay, so we have 8 packs. We need 5. We need a top 5. They don't have to be in order. They just need a top 5. Chat, do your thing. That Targaryen guy says, I hate that Nike monopoly. Hey, if they make the best boots, they make the best boots. So what can you do? They don't always make the best boots. They just happen to
the best colorways.
Yeah, they make the best colorway, or they have previously made the best colorways. So Andrew, what would your 5 be?
Passion Red. No in particular order, because this could take.
We can't do any particular order.
Passion Red Mercury pack from 2016.
Yeah.
The 2010 Nike pack.
Yeah.
Jeez. The Women's World Cup pack in 2015. And probably the Clash pack.
Clash pack. Okay.
I told Sub before Substance Football, go follow him, check his stuff out. I told him before I liked the Euro 2008 pack the most, but I think I changed my mind on that. But yeah.
The things that can happen in a podcast.
Passion Red, Women's World Cup 2015, then 2010 World Cup from Nike, Mercury pack, and the Clash pack. Yeah.
It is an excellent selection. Again, this is why we're not doing this in terms of, like, again, time-wise and etc. We're not doing this where we both have to agree, because I have a different thought on this. So I would still have the Nike 2010 pack that goes in there. I would have the Clash pack, so that's in there as well. I would have the 2014 Puma Tricks pack. The Mercury pack that goes in there. And that leaves me with 1 left. So I think I'm going to go for the... I'm torn between the Women's World Cup 2015 and the World Cup 2014, just because of obviously the Superfly Ober, etc.
No, go with the Women's World Cup.
Let's go with the Women's World Cup.
It looks better as a pack.
It does look better as a pack. It does absolutely look better as a pack. So that's my 5. The 2010 Nike Orange Lilac pack, the Clash pack, the Puma Evo Speed and Evo Power kind of Tricks pack, the Women's World Cup 2015 pack, and the Mercury pack. And neither of us have anything. Oh no, you got the 2018 Mizuno, but there's nothing post 2018 that even got consideration there. Yeah. And I think that speaks volumes. I think a lot of it is, I think Ollie was absolutely right with his call that it's a lot to do with the volume of packs that we're getting. Just so much, and they don't last as long, and we don't get the moments. But what can you do? So let's have a quick check into the chat here. Tracker, that's just not fair. Didn't miss much. What are you talking about? We've been here for an hour and 20 minutes. Didn't miss much. Pretty much. Justin has given us his 5. So he's gone with the Nike Clash pack, the Nike World Cup pack, the Nike Victory pack, the Adidas Silver pack, and the Adidas Chrome pack from 2016. So the change. Very nice. Very nice. There's not really a wrong answer through this. Julio says Battle Pack, Oshirsuka Pack, Clash Pack, Victory Pack, and Tricks Pack. There we go. Tracker, anything Pillow War looks the best. Yeah, that's fair.
A fair point.
Craig Dixon. Oh, sorry, go on.
Ricky said Clash Pack easily the best. Euro 2008 pack also iconic.
Yeah, very true.
Craig Dixon.
Yeah. Go for it. You did what's
okay? Clash Pack, 2014 Nike Mercury Pack, Puma Tricks, and then the New Balance of Triska. Yeah. And Justin switches his number 5 to the Mad Brilliance from 2024. I cannot agree. It just looks like. Sorry, the boots just look like they poured Pepto-Bismol on them.
See, I like the boots. I genuinely do like the boots, and if they were like just even as a regular colorway, I like them a lot. I definitely wear them. I love a pink boot. But
it looks like somebody poured Pepto-Bismol on them, realized their mistake, threw them through the washing, and this is what they came up with.
And it just came off better on the Mercurials than it did on the Phantoms. Generic username. 2014 Nike Pack, 2014 Puma Tricks, 2010 Nike Pack, Clash Pack, and the 2016 Adidas Chrome. There's a lot of love for the Clash and the Adidas Chrome for sure.
D-Rob, Zero Pack is underrated. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. There we go. Okay. Plus Pepto is delicious.
Pepto is delicious. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Those little tablets. Oh man.
Oh dear. D-Rod says the most iconic World Cup boot for me is the R9 2002 Vapor, which is absolutely a fair shout. And this is one of the reasons that we absolutely did not do this as individual boots, and we did it as complete packs because for us right now, this isn't a podcast that's run on that long. And if it was individual boots, we would have been here all night. If we're not going to do questions today, of course, we're an hour and 20 in. Next week, I hopefully will be coming to you from a different location, which will be fun.
Because I'm going your stuff with you.
Because I'm going on holiday and I'm going to take my stuff with me. Nice. And hopefully, provided everything goes well and the internet connection in the arse end of nowhere, which is where I will be, is good enough, I will be here. And you don't get a week off, Andrew. You don't get a week without me.
It's fine.
Don't sound too excited.
Oh, sorry. Oh, good. Thank God. Jeez. Oh,
Thank you. Oof, a little bit of love.
Dodged a bullet there. Sorry, I am still half asleep.
With that in mind, we will say goodbye. Andrew, where can the people find you, please?
Somewhere. Lockhart Boot Blog is my Instagram
Andrew's
tag and my website. Oh my gosh. My wife works today too, so I'm taking care of our son all day. What else? This podcast. Find Boot Wizard James on Instagram.
Andrew is broken. Absolutely broken. I am at Boot Wizard Boot Reviews on Instagram, and obviously here you are on Boot Wizard. Do remember to like this video, please, and get subscribed to the Boot Wizard channel. If you watch this live, we thank you for joining us. The lives are just fantastic. We appreciate every single one of you in the comments. It makes such a big difference to the podcast, even if it adds 10 minutes to every podcast at least.
Totally
we absolutely love it. And if you're not watching this live, next week, join us live, 11 p.m. GMT on a Friday. If not, we obviously uploads on a Sunday at 11 a.m. GMT in a nicely edited version so that we look all shiny and sparkly.
Yeah.
But that's it. Thank you very much for joining us. Chat, have a good one. And there's nothing else in there that I need to cover in the chat. No, thank you very much. We love you. Goodbye.
Bye.